Hello. Now there's a big dilemma today. I was going to say one, but this guest is not just for the one. Okay, so we've got, everybody knows, I hope, we've got I Want to Grow. I Want to Grow is all about that. It's all about growth. But our guests, it's not about growth with them, it's about helping others grow. And that's the main thing. But with our guest today, do I do the podcast for I Want to Grow or do I do it for sports? But this guest falls into all of those. So I'm going to do both of them. I'll start with the sports. Hello and welcome to In the Game, Qatar's first sports podcast. And today we've got an amazing guest on our show, like always. But I'm going to kind of introduce you after I do my next introduction. Hello and welcome to I Want to Grow. I Want to Grow is all about that. It's all about our growth, but with our guests, it's all about them helping others grow. So get my problem today? That's my problem. But Bader, thank you so much for coming on our podcast because I just didn't know which one you were going to go into today.
Well, I'm happy to be here actually, and I'll be happy to provide more information. And I'm also happy to do what I could like to help others also.
Yeah, and this is why you are a special guy. But tell me, let's start from the very beginning. Your name?
All right, my name is Bader Al Saadi. I am 35 years old. I am a nuclear engineer and an entrepreneur. I'm also a chairman of Al Saadi Group, and also I own multiple different business. And basically, what I do is that I do try to provide information and some consultation to some business and entrepreneurship, especially for the startups. And hopefully, we got so many good feedback from that. And what I'm trying to achieve for achieving my dream is to make others achieve their dreams by telling them and giving them insights about what they can do in the future, and not to be afraid to take some risk sometime, because taking risk will help you to grow even further.
Okay, so I'm going to take it back even further because, so where does the sports fit in? And I've never seen, you're in such great shape, right?
Thank you so much.
So what was your first business? What was it, the first business that you've done?
Well, my first business is It's a quick sportswear brand. I started this business 2016, and basically that business is based on making the gym wear and accessories. And I did start this because I noticed there's some gap in the market related to some gym wear products. Usually the common brands actually there, but they don't actually fit in with the idea of working out in the gyms and stuff like that. And also the quality is a little bit different, and even the price, they are very pricey compared to the quality. So I want to end all these disputes with one brand, and that was Quick. And this is what happened, and I did work with Quick with different gyms and different places, and also we reach a level we can customize your own products for yourself. Also, if you are looking at a gym, you own a gym, you want to have trainers, their uniform or their staff, we can make the whole thing for you. As now we became more like a designer-based company, not only just providing clothing for you.
So we're going to be wearing all your items for our podcast in the future.
If you want, yeah.
But on saying that, so you're into sports in that way. That must have come from your love of getting into shape yourself.
That's a good question you ask here, because here's the thing. When I started my business, I started a business with something that I know there's a gap, because in the beginning when I want to buy some products for the gym wear, I usually buy from online. They're from UK or from America, and there's nothing in the market that actually fits the design that I like or fits the size that I want. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just I like to have different styles, So this is what I saw. There's why we don't have something local here? And this is where I started my brand. This is one of the things that happened. Second is that the word quick actually comes from the word you can release. Quick came from an earthquake. Basically, it means everybody has potential to grow. Everybody have that explosive power to grow, to change. So quick, in philosophical term, means power to change, power to make things different. Now this is you, but after you work out, you're going to be muscular. You're going to have a different shape. That's the change we want to show in Quick. That's what I'm trying to bring in, and with the brand name actually. So, and actually our slogan is that be powerful beyond measure. Nike, just do it. We have that same thing. Be powerful beyond measure.
Be powerful
beyond measure. Yeah, that's Quick for us. So hopefully, we did some good collaboration. We did some events. We did some competitions. And we participate in many exhibitions. So basically, Quick is kind of exposed a lot of.
I want to see your watch as well, okay? Because you've in your watch you've got 48 hours, because it's not possible with all the things that you do.
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to fit that all into 24 hours. How do you do it?
Well, here's the thing. Another thing that it's another good question. So basically, I organize my time and I organize the way I do things. And basically, since have a business, you know the ins and outs of the business. So basically, so when I started the business, I was everything. I was the delivery boy. I was the one who's supplying. I was the one who's doing the logistics. And now I have a team that actually support that. And actually, we have a team that actually work for Quick, for design, and also for delivery. So I don't need to worry. I don't need to be in the office 24 hours. But sometimes I have this regular meetings, like with the board, like 1 time, 2 times in a month, basically to ask if there's anything needed to be happen, if there's nothing, or what we can improve in our business. So that's basically what I do, and that's why I delegate the business. This is where I said, and earlier before this podcast, is that I have a laissez-faire leadership. Basically, I delegate to others. People have talents. Why don't bring them in? Even some volunteers have talents, so you should bring them in.
Okay, I'm going to stop. But delegation, it's not always a nice word. There's always a negative connotation. In my age, it's like delegation. It's like giving that responsibility away or give it to someone else. But that's a downfall. Delegation is giving somebody an opportunity. That's where you're coming from.
Yes, but basically, laissez-faire leadership also then has another name called zero leadership. Basically, there's no leadership in there. Basically, you assign some task to someone to do something for you. But what I can see, this is beneficial for my lifestyle because I work in the ministry by myself, and I also have other business, and I have also my social lifestyle. I cannot, if I don't do that, I will not be able to overcome all the obstacles, and should be in the business all the time. But here's the thing: every leader should do is basically to able to understand the demographic of your business. What's the business, borders? What's the business need to be happening? Is the border cannot be controlled? Don't do that business because that could be very hard to upscale, and sometimes there's a lot of mistake could happen. A controlled business is a business that you can build as a pyramid. So basically, you are the leader. You're on top of the pyramid. You are the one who's controlling this. Everybody report to you. The reporting system should be there in place. So in case if they have an issue or problem, you know how to deal with that and how to protect them at the same time.
Would you say that that's the biggest success point in your business?
Yes, I build a system. I build an entrepreneurship system that actually I don't think everybody could do it because it's need the right people with you. And every successful CEO or even a chairman needs a good team. Without a good team, you cannot one-man show is good for some businesses, but not for the major businesses. You need a whole team behind you, a team that you believe in, team that can bring a lot to the table, and also good ideas and good suggestions to the projects. All you can do is that listen to them and also offer them some consultation and some advice if it needs to be heeded to. But other than that, yes, you can.
When did you learn this? Because you're telling me that you did the delivery, you got all the things ready.
This is 2016 to 2017.
Yeah, so in that period, there must have been a time that you were trying to do it all yourself.
Yes, I did, yeah.
When was that time that you said, I got this? Because your profits are going to go down. If you've got somebody that you're going to bring into it, you've got to take that decision. I do more, I get paid more. I take somebody else on, my wages go down in the first.
Yeah.
When did you realize I got to do it?
Well, there's couple reasons that happened because of that. First, I had partners with me and the first brand, and that didn't help at the beginning because in the beginning of the business, this is my first business, and I'm not coming from a business background. I came from engineering background, and so basically having a business like this, it was not easy for me. It's like there's a lot of mistakes that did happen during all the way, and during the journey, I found out that we didn't assign the right roles for each partner. For example, we have a role for being a CEO. There's a role for being someone who controls the marketing. There's a role for someone who brings some, projects to us. That was not clearly defined between the partners. So after a while, the partners decided to leave, to sell their shares to Quick. And basically, I'm the fully owner of Quick, basically. So this is what happened. After that, I started also having other businesses. So now I have more income from the other businesses. So I am able now to help and aid my first business, which is Quick. This is where I started having and hiring a lot of people with me to build up a good team for that. And even sometime, there are some other companies that I also already own. They already offer some services for me that I need, so, like in terms of let's say for graphic designer.
Wow.
So I have what do you call? I'm telling you is I have a kitchen.
Yeah.
Basically, I have the knife, I have this like the fork, I have this the spoon. I can treat every company as like everybody can aid me in something to do some food or to cook some food or and to eat. So basically, every company has their own talents and tools and skills that help me to aid in that business or other businesses.
And it's like having, you use the kitchen. It's like having the cookbook, right?
Yeah.
You're telling them the recipe, you're telling them the direction, how much of you need of each one, and then people put it together, right? But you've put a system in place, and this is something that we try to say to startups, that just because of the value and how much turnover that you're doing, et cetera, and how much profit you're making, sometimes it is important. I'm not going to say it's not important, but the most important thing is having that structure in place, because that's going to be real value. So if you were going to exit, if you were going to sell that to other people, the better you've got the whole of the company, the less that you're going to... the less you're going to give away for the price that they're asked. So you could be giving away 5%, when if you didn't have it all in place, you were going to give away 20.
Yeah. So that's could work in some businesses, but in my first business, I mean, it's not difficult, but at the same time, it's not easy to manage, and you need a team for you. But I found the most common issue that I have is that if I don't have the proper person to talk with and communicate with, or let's say manage, I mean, and I also in the beginning, I was not like a leader, I was more like a follower, and always a good leader should be a good follower. That's something that should be added in the books. But you need to understand how everything happening, and you need to know how to control all the aspects of the business. So there's some businesses that actually I see there's like potential to grow, but the issue is not within the business idea or within the person who created the idea. Sometimes the team is not willing to do more, or they're being actually resisting the change. Yes, and that you have to make a very difficult decision, basically, and because since you're a leader, you have to change the whole team, and that happened in major companies like Amazon, Google, Apple. They try to let go, I mean, a lot of people that they don't need actually, and even though this will not help the person who's actually working for them, but they need to make that change so they, as a business, so they can make more than they should, like more than now.
Yeah, and you said you just briefly put in there that you were an engineer in your background.
Yeah.
You weren't just an engineer; you were a nuclear engineer.
Yes.
When did that? Was it a defining moment for you? Was it kind of what? Did you always wanted to be this, or?
To be honest, I never thought in my life I'll be a businessman, to be honest with you. Actually, even being a businessman, I hated the fact that I'll be a businessman. Because I think they're all greedy, and they all wants money from the customers. Because I was a consumer, I was thinking like as a consumer at the beginning. But as engineer, nuclear engineer, why I started like to be a businessman? First, there's a lot of reasons. First, I want to have like another income, which is the most common thing. Second, I'm happy and I'm passionate about what I do. For example, making clothing and making textiles and making new brand for me and everybody. I can share it with everybody. And
But do you touch and feel that? Do you get involved in that?
Yeah, this comes from the feedback, from the customers and even people. They said, even until now, people ask me to collaborate with them, and that's make me realize how much Quick is actually making an impact to them. Even some of them, they still wearing the same old collection for 2 years. So that's like give me a good insight that what I did create. And here's the thing about business is that I love the process of creation. The process of you have an idea, you create something from that idea. There's a product there. You make everybody try it, or even like test it, and everybody like it, and everybody wants more. So you start to become like some individual that everybody wants to have, So
you've got two lives.
Yeah.
Okay, nuclear engineer, entrepreneur.
Yeah, and bodybuilder.
And bodybuilding, by the way. And we'll be putting some pictures up online right now, just so that you can see the body that this guy's got. But it's very impressive. But so you've got 3 lifestyles.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, the bodybuilder, which must take a lot of energy.
Yes.
Sacrifice.
Yes, I do.
Diets, all these things, right? And this is where I'm trying to understand it, right? Then you've got the entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And then you've got your job where you're flying around with different different groups of people
Yes.
to promote
Sometimes
Qatar.
alone. Sometimes
Right.
alone, yes.
And you've got all these things. How do you pull on the strengths from every single one? Which are those things that you do to when you're low, or you're kind of, which one gives you the most energy, and how do you channel it all?
So, I mean, if we were talking about my life specifically, is that I see everything that I do is the potential to learn and apply. So if I learn something at my work, like something like, how the business is running and how we approve that business in my government, I know if I'm going to do this business, how I'm going to approve that business. For example, if I am working with the, as a working, when I work in the gym, also I meet some people there and they're talking about their business and they want to work with me, they want to collaborate with me. So I can, they say, they know I have a brand, so some of them even approach me and tell me, hey, I have a gym, how about you put your clothing there? So everything is synced together. If they know who you are, they will be easy to talk to. And sometimes I don't even talk. I don't even tell them who I am. But they know the way that the way I present myself, the way I actually talk to some people. I think that helps a lot to create that mindset. And actually that comes from learning a lot of things through the books, actually. There's 38 laws of power. And that was insightful about how actually you actually can manage the way you present yourself and the way you show yourself. And here's the thing about business also, this is also from Rich Dad and Poor Dad, is that don't go just to have money. Don't really do business just to have money. Try to learn. Learn. The more you learn, the more you have more knowledge, the more knowledge you have is that you'll be wiser and you have more business. And people will come to you not because you have money. People will come to you because you have the technical knowledge. Now people think that certificate is enough to have a job. No, I don't think certificate is good enough. I don't think so. Now we are in an age where your skills matter. If you're good at photography, if you're good at sound engineering, if you're good at cloud engineering, software engineering, I can hire this person. If this person is actually living in another country and I'm here, I can pay him money and he still enjoy his life there. I don't need to bring him in to work with me. So now it's more about skills hunting, not about you have certificate for this. Nobody looks for certificates anymore. I'm not saying they're not important, but in our time, in our needs, if someone have a graphic designer skill and he doesn't have a certificate, I'll hire this person instead of someone who have a certificate but doesn't have the skills that I need for my business. I don't need to. And the thing here in common in our society is that I have certificate, why I'm not hired? Well, nobody wants you because I think that's give you a feedback about what actually you're not needed here.
How is the education? Obviously, it's been a big part of your life, but how is, you talk about books and that you do a lot of reading.
Yeah, I do.
How much is that?
I have my own library at home.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of books, yeah. So, yeah, books is important for me. Books actually, I think is the strongest thing in my life is that to have books because it's the strongest muscle here, not my biceps, my muscles is in my head. And that's the more knowledge I know, the more I can talk and the more I can inspire and the more I can do things. And there's a lot of books that actually still applicable after 1,000 years, like Art of War by Sun Tzu. Art of War is it's a book about military strategy, but now it's used by management and businessmen and everybody else. Why? Because it's about knowing your enemy, and when I say enemy, not real enemy, but knowing your competition. Let's say you have a podcast here, and you have another competitor who's doing the same thing, podcast.
Yeah.
What's gonna make difference between you and that other person is that what you're gonna offer, what value you're gonna offer, and that also in the book since 1,000 years ago, and still be applicable till this day. So there's so many richness and there's so many information in the books that actually I buy one book not to even to read one book. I'm writing one book just to read one chapter in that book.
Oh, wow.
because I buy the whole book just to read that one chapter.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested in that chapter. I want the whole information. And I learned this through when I did my master's degree in UK, is that I don't need to go through the whole books. I will skim it. There's some information, sometimes just in one page, but you have to go through this book to understand the whole thing.
Bring on ChatGPT. Put the book in and give me the highlights. Give me the most valuable. And that's what it's going to be like now, right? And that's exciting. But kind of talking on this whole front of things, and is there been, because you're only 34 years old, you've got the whole life in front of you. it must be a great, from my side of things, if I was in your shoes and the way that you are and the way that you've got yourself strong and you've got these businesses and you've got things you can fall back on if things went really badly and you've got all these things in place. And I look at you and I think to myself, oh my word, he's got it sussed. Okay. But with the stage that you're at, when do you still feel that fear when it comes to kind of what you want to achieve and how you're going to get there?
You know, there's a saying, I think I saw it like last 2 days ago. If your dreams doesn't scare you, it's not worth the risk.
Oh, I like that. That's going to be a great reel, by the way. It's going to be a fantastic reel. But that's a great saying. That really is a great saying.
If it doesn't scare you, it's not worth the risk. I mean, why you should do something that actually doesn't scare you? You should make it happen. I mean, even when I'm talking about scary things, not even something like in business, even like some activities, like for example, like scuba diving or skydiving or even paragliding or even like doing things extreme. I did that actually. I did mountaineering, I did climbing, and I did scuba diving. The other two things that I didn't do is bungee jump and skydiving, basically. So.
And I'm never going to do those, by the way. I had so many chances to do all, but I said no way am I doing any of those.
I'm addicted to adrenaline rush actually. So. Even though I'm a bodybuilder, so my life is kind of like normal, static. Like basically, I just go to the gym, work out, come back home. But here's the thing: what I'm trying to do is that you should look for the new opportunities and new excitements. And sometimes new opportunities will not show themselves to you. You have to bring yourself to them.
So have I got a chance at 57 to get my body in shape?
Yes. There's no late for any age. You can start anytime. I saw people start when they're 70.
Oh, wow.
And they have a good body.
Okay, you're going away next week, and I know you're going away next week. But when you come back, I'm coming to see if I could do some stuff with you. Okay?
Oh, all right.
Because I'm determined. I was 146 kilos.
Wow.
At one stage, and now I've come down to I'm fluctuating around 89 to 91.
That's good. That's nice.
Depending on the water content. Not saying that I'm counting my water content, but it's one of those scientific things that now I want to get down. I want to get back down to the stage I was when I was 16 years old, which is about 13 and a half stone. So that's what I'm trying to get down to right now.
You can. Here's the thing. There's nothing impossible, but people now we're living in an age of everything needs to be fast. So I'm gonna go to the gym. Hey, I'm gonna have 6 packs next day. No, you can't. Here's the thing: enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, enjoy your fitness journey, enjoy what you do. If you love reading, enjoy reading that book. If you enjoy going through something, enjoy. If you enjoy doing podcasts, enjoy it to the maximum.
To the maximum.
Yeah. Enjoy having this conversation. Enjoy also learning through it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing about doing something you like. You don't. Here's the thing, and even because you enjoy what you do and you learn what you do, in some way it's manifests itself to make money for you. It actually will bring opportunity for you. Hey, how about you do this podcast? I'll pay for that for you. Or how about during the podcast, we're gonna have a commercial and we're gonna pay you for that commercial, for example. You know. I'm going to give you some ideas right now.
Don't worry, I've got loads. I've got loads for you. When we finished, I've got loads for you. But I really do love what you. I remember and listening to you now saying you like to plan things, and I've talked to you on several times where you do like to plan. And I remember talking to you last night, and I said I got a thing for you about a podcast tomorrow at 2 p.m. And you're like, and I could see you go back a little. And I was going, come on, let's go. Come on, let's do it. It'd be a good experience. And you said yes. And I thought, he's never going to turn up today.
No, I did. Here's the thing. I kind of because sometimes it does happen, like these kind of situations at my work. But I take things in different priorities. You know, the gym, I can go there anytime. And this is the thing. Around 2 p.m., only the 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. I go to the gym. But still, I can manage. I talk to my coach and he understands the situation. So it's fine. But I can manage my time. I'm flexible. In the time of your business and being a leader, you need to be flexible. If you're being so, let's say, strict about what you need to do, in some cases, yes, you need to, but not all the cases. Especially it's Thursdays, the beginning of the weekend, So
Thursday, yeah.
You have to.
It's funny you should say this because it's put a nice feeling into it, right?
Yeah.
And I try to culminate my week into that Thursday feeling. It used to be the Friday feeling. Yeah. So you used to always build up for that weekend to go, yes, the
Finally.
Weekend. And today it's been a great one because I'm interviewing you, but I've also gone to, I'm going to call it's called the Burj Al Manor. You know
Nordiamana?
the arrow-shaped building with the.
Oh, yeah.
So we're now, by next week, we're going to be in our new office. So
Really?
today we went there and we got all the login details for the doors.
Oh, congrats.
And it's just a wonderful, wonderful place. And by the time this has come out, I'll put some pictures up about our new office. But so this today is this Thursday feeling is amazing. And the conversation I'm having with you is amazing. So what a way to start the weekend. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you as well is what advice would you give to your 15-year-old self?
You know, it will be out of the box, actually, that kind of question. But, you know, actually, I did thought about it. In terms of business or in terms of like
Anything.
Anything?
What's that thing that jumps into your mind?
Don't fall in love. Really. I mean, I remember some moments where actually I could do so much if I was focused on myself and not really like, you know, I mean, it's not easy. You cannot control someone you love, but you know, it's like, it's something that comes in your life. But if I'm talking about like if I'm 15 years old or something like that, just focus on yourself. I mean, focus developing, because love will come later, will come better than before. You know, it comes like, it's very different to have, established, if you want to love someone, of course, then the end of the love is that to marry someone and to provide someone. And if you are not ready, you just build yourself because you love someone and you have nothing to offer because you didn't start within yourself to make the best preparation for yourself, to be able to provide for the family that you want to start. I think, yes, focus on yourself. And for my advice for myself is that don't fall in love.
Will you fall in love again?
I don't know. If God's will it, yeah. I don't know if that happened,
But look at you now. You're all successful. Everything's going well for you.
Here's the thing. I said all the good things about me, but the negative, I'm not saying negative, but let's say things that I don't have it anymore. Maybe some other normal person will have it, is that I don't have love in my life. I don't have a love life because of the way I'm working and doing the social life is hard.
But there's no room right now for that, right? If you're a nuclear engineer, that's mind blowing. You've got your own, you've got your logistic company, which I haven't even gone into yet, but you've got all those companies, those industries that you're involved with. You've got a holding company. You've got this other stuff that you're working on as well with the government and all these other things. It's like, how have you got time in your life for anything else?
It's like, if I can describe it in a comical way, is like I'm like Bruce Wayne in Batman. Is like basically he's a multi-billionaire, but he's always busy saving the city and stuff like that, and he doesn't have time for love. I feel like I'm in the same level of that, but I want to give more to society, and I think love will come when the time comes. But if it did happen, I will welcome it, of course. But is that through time, I think I need to also to be sure about the person that I'm in love with, because you don't want to be someone who doesn't like appreciate what you do, because some of them, they will try to change you. They will try to change what you're doing because you are actually doing it right. I mean, you like that person because he do what he does, but no. Sometimes they try to force their changes on you, and I don't like that. I'm happy where I am right now. If I cannot be like that, I cannot be with that someone.
But I think that's going to have effect on your business life also, because if you look at that, if you put the love out the way, you're really on a mission. You've got all these things that you've got objectives to do. There is no room for love right now. It will find you, without a shadow of a doubt, it's going to find you. But you can't have time for love, because I'm going to the gym from 2 till 4, did you say? Or
see, this is the thing. If love comes, and actually that comes from both sides. Let's say this person loved me, and I love that person. There's always time. I can't create time. I can make that time. I mean, the only thing that actually, hate to waste in my life now, since now I'm 34, time. I don't like to waste my time with someone that maybe this person will like me. Maybe this person will love me. Maybe I can't do that anymore. I mean, either you're fully in with me or you're out. That's it. And this is how I see love story of my life, is that to happen like this way. But to have something more like, let's say, more practical is that I think it will come through some kind of like, level of meetings and times and meetings. I don't know who's going to happen.
I think that you ladies out there, okay, 6 months time, I think he's going to be married, okay? What an eligible bachelor you've got here. What a man. Engineering, nuclear, businesses, holding companies, different industries. Come on. What a gentleman. You are a gentleman. What do you see for the future? What's your, okay, the love aspect of it, I think you're building towards that. I think you're
that's
creating.
the only thing is missing in my life. Yeah.
You're creating an empire right now.
I am. This is
okay,
my purpose.
what's next for you? What's the big steps?
Okay, so my next steps is that I want, to provide back. I want to get back. I want not to be to be fully philanthropist. I want to be more able to help other people, and especially in education sector, which is I did now. I'm trying now. I don't know. We have a company called Haytham XR. I don't know if you know it. We're participating in Expo, and that company we provide education through a VR goggles. It's about, and actually it's like a school, and that company basically we had a lot of kids come from schools, from kindergartens, even from adults. They enjoy the journey. For example, environmental awareness, or about mental awareness, or about like mathematical, or astronomy. So basically, we build that knowledge by they immerse the whole idea of them being in virtual world. So I'm using the new technology as a new education. So I'm trying to create impact. If I want to create impact here in Doha, I mean, this is the thing that made Doha even different before even oil and gas. Education.
It's pretty exciting here in Doha, right?
Yeah, it is.
There's some exciting times coming ahead.
Yeah.
Did you go to Web Summit?
I was invited, but I was traveling.
Okay.
I was into Saudi Arabia for that.
And if anybody says, "Oh, you weren't there for Web Summit," this guy is all over the world, right? He's flying the flag to everybody in different countries around the world. So don't. He was okay not to go to the Web Summit, but it was a fantastic time. But Qatar is definitely putting itself. It's been well and truly put on the map.
It is. We're trying to put ourselves on the map, and actually, I'm happy about my country and how much they did and how much we want to do and make. And actually, sometimes I hear these kind of like things that about my country make me happy, make me very proud. Is that, they say, for example, you're so lucky to have this kind of, to have a prince like, Sheikh Tamim. You're so lucky about the leadership government you have here. You're lucky about that. I was like, even though I travel all around the world, and I've been many places, but people who live here and they saying these things to me, I feel so proud that I'm here, and I'm proud that I can deliver more. And I always like, when I hear something like that, even the prince, he said himself that actually everybody. I remember when he was visiting us in UK, he said everybody is ambassador to their country, and I was ambassador to my country for many reasons. And actually, I feel this is a rewarding sometime to have that feedback that people give all the time.
Even for expats, let me tell you, it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling to be part of this place, because you are part of the place. I've been here 15 years, and I remember when the Emir, I thought you were going to bring this up, but I remember the Emir looking up and saying, I want to thank it was in the United Nations, where he said, I want to thank my nationals that have helped grow the country, but I also want to congratulate everybody else that's contributed to what we've got within Qatar, and that made me feel extremely proud. And I'm like you. I want to put something back. I want to kind of create something. So what would be your advice? And I'm going to ask you two more questions before we finish. The first one is, who's been your inspirations?
Inspirations like in real life?
Real life. Or anybody that's been something that's added something to you for who you are?
Well, there's like a lot of people, but let's say I have my grandfather. He's the one who actually, I didn't met him in my life, because when I was born, he passed away, but I heard so many things about him, and made me realize he is a great man, and I wish to be more like him. He was also a businessman, also back in his days. And the second person is that my father. You know, my father is the greatest example of being nice and good, and until this day, sometimes this is what's missing in our world. You know, what I'm trying to do is that I try to combine both things. Is that try to be able to provide and able to be a good person, because sometimes it doesn't end up in the same way. Sometimes you see a person who can provide, but he's not a good person, and this person is a good person, but he cannot provide. So I'm trying to do both, and in a way that actually makes everybody happy. Like, meaning, like, let's say if I'm married, I have a mom and my sisters. I want to provide for my mom and sisters, and also I want to provide my own family, which is my wife and my children. And that's what I want. Is that I want to bring perspective. Is that as a man, you're always going to be a provider. As a man, you should always be strong for your family. And strong doesn't mean to be strong in muscles. No, to be strong in case if the things are hard or changes are hard. Because sometimes it will be hard for you, even if you're not with anybody. And you have to be strong for yourself. You have to be raising the bar all by yourself.
Just before we finish, young startups out there, we were at a startup event last night. What's your advice to anybody that's starting a business?
Well, I did enjoy it last night. I heard a lot of good, projects or good ideas actually, and I was so happy that they're thinking ahead of time actually. Especially bet word, because it's a nice idea, and actually I like the questions that comes from the audience, basically about if they want to transport their pets to other countries. Sometimes there's some regularities. By the way, I'm a pet owner. I have maybe 11 cats.
Oh.
And this is my mom's kids. They're grandkids.
Oh my word!
Since we don't have she doesn't have grandkids from anybody, so this is the cats and her grandkids.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we have twins. We have so we have 3-generation cats and stuff like that. So I know that. Also, I know a lot of people who have cats and dogs, and sometimes they have some issues with like the situation that we've been discussed last night. And I think that's amazing, initiative from that person. The person who's trying to do that. And also the OISIS, the idea about a life coach in.
Scary though, right?
It's a little bit scary about the data, basically. It could be. They said the data is in the phone, but it's still. There should be some kind of contract.
I think they're still growing, right? And that's the one thing. They've got no MVP, but they've got something that they're building.
But this is good. If they want to do something different, I'm happy all over. And I think there's so much ideas out there. But the thing is, everybody's asking and everybody's telling, which is the things that I want to add in now. Funding. Everybody wants funding. Everybody wants investment. They have a good idea. You want a good idea. Here's the thing. Go to an accountant firm. Ask for financial projection for your project. Ask what actually you want to do in your project. What kind of funding do you need? You said you need 10 million, but maybe you need just 2 million to reduce the cost. And maybe you have a proper investor for yourself. And then you can grow from there. You don't need a lot. You need the right money and the right amount of time and the right team to do something together. And the funding will only happen when you have the proper financial projections and proper financial study and good market study. According to also Mr. What's the name? The guy that he was the, I think, consultant in the event last night. He was sitting in the middle.
He's a very good friend of mine, Marcel.
Marcel. Actually, I met Marcel for another event about investments and stuff like that.
When he came to Qatar.
Yeah, I think when he came to Qatar.
When he first came to Qatar, I was the first person that he met from a business entrepreneur perspective. Yeah, and he really is. I knew back then he was going to be unbelievable for Qatar, and it's actually coming true. So he's a great guy. Joseph was another one. I was at that hackathon run by Innovation Cafe. And I was he was the only worst person there, and everybody was saying, I'm not going to invest in anybody that's only got one person. And he was there and he was fighting for this pet world, which I've seen his progress. And he just keeps on looking at things. But it was great advice what they gave him. 80% of your profit or your money is coming from 20% of your customers. Improve it. Keep on working. Don't be looking for money. Look at how you can improve that revenue. And instead of thinking somebody's going to come along with a big bag of money, don't just get your services bought by more people or your product. Work on those things, and then you might not need as much financing as you thought you did. So, and you're in control and you're not giving anything away then, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. He provided very good advice during that time and during that night, and actually I think he have well aware of that. But also he was part of investment, and also he can provide some ideas about the investments. Most of the presenters who presented yesterday and they pitched their own ideas and their projects. It's really nice. But to have funding, you have to understand three things. First, who you're getting funding from. For example, not everybody believes in life coach. Nobody also have a cats or dogs in their home. Why invest with you? So if you want to invest, you want an investor that can relate to your, can sympathize with your project.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what's the one thing that need to happen. So, one is financial projection. Second is market study. Third, investor's background. And third and fourth is your business can be upscale. Because not everybody's business can be upscaled, by the way. There's a limit, that's it. Most businesses, they think they can be upscaled. Now my companies, we don't only provide products, we provide more services than products. And this is why we could upscale so fast. Because services actually makes more money than actually providing products. Yes, products is good for some reason, for some seasons, but services all the time is needed. Every time you need a service, you can come to us. We'll provide you a service with the best quality and highest quality, everything. So when you do when I see there's a lot of requests for that services because we provided it with a very reasonable price, and we did apply for tenders, and we had a lot of tenders coming in from our group. But what I'm trying to say is that what makes us different than other companies that we provide better services, and we have a lot of customers that's coming back in. And also because we can also upscale the business to provide more services than what we have right now. So a great business for investment is a business that you can upscale, because that you can see a potential from. Could be one product, could be one service, but hey, it could be subsidiary for a lot of things.
Nice one. And one more question. Being an athlete like you are, does it improve you being an entrepreneur?
Yes, of course. We have a saying in Arabic, good mind and a good body. So basically, if you don't have a good body or a good athlete body or sport body, you don't have a good mind. A good mind is that, when I say good mind, means a mind that actually can accept, open to knowledge, open to learn, open to new things, open to discipline, open to do things differently. You don't need to have, clear where you want to go in the future sometimes. Sometimes you just need to do what you need to be done. But having a regular, fitness, daily routine that you have will help to open a mind that maybe cannot be open if you are just only working 24 hours for something that you like. Sometimes experiencing new things and even having good body will open a new doors for you. It's like, I don't know if you saw the movie, it's called Limitless. It's something like that. Basically, your mind will open up as soon as your body is starting to work out, and also you can create your own, here's the thing, even when you have a good body and it will open doors for you. Actually, when you have a good shape, people will be happy to approach you and even make a business with you.
But that's like a business. If you show people that you're a hard worker, you're determined, you're gonna get there, then people are more going to give you money.
Yeah.
Because they're going to, and not necessarily give you money. They're going to help you get to that next level, whatever that next level may be. If they see your attributes, if they see what you're capable of, you're more of a chance to succeed.
Yes. And appearances here in Qatar, not only in Qatar, and everywhere around the world, makes a lot of difference. If I see someone who have a good body and I see someone who doesn't work out, I don't believe this person could be disciplined, could be lazy. There's some stereotype already thought, or there's an impression about that person before. Maybe this person is Could be a good person, be in time, but here's the thing: if you don't have the right appearances and you don't have the first impression right, no.
And it does come down sometimes, and it's unfortunate, but image and perception is everything. And we think that that's just by the look. But that doesn't, image and perception, it's what your image of you is and the perception, right? Because with that, I can be a different size, a different color, different things. But if I work hard, if I'm determined, that's what people are going to see before they see anything else. And that's where I believe that the power becomes. So it's, yeah, I agree with you completely.
And also sometimes actually I take benefit from that system, by the way. How? Let's say there's some days I wear thobe. And I go around, everybody should be different. Let's say I came to the same place wearing not thobe, wearing just like normal clothing, like, like sportswear, whatever. I'm been treated differently. So I could be hidden person between the crowd, seeing things differently. I'm Qatari, but people will not see me Qatari because I'm not wearing thobe. I can see how the reaction and the treatment and everything else happening while in my own soil, and understand how actually that will help me in business.
Yeah. Yeah. Take advantage, right?
I take advantage of the system. And that's how you should be. Like, sometimes people fight the waves. No, we should do this. We should make this. We should we need to protest. No. Sometimes if you understand the game, you can bend the rules to your favor.
Yeah.
It's like a chess game. If you know how to play I think you do. You know how to play a chess game. So if you know how to play chess, when you have one single strategy, it's not going to win. You have to have multiple strategies. And there's another strategy which is called blue ocean and red ocean. Basically, I don't know if you heard about it, the blue ocean and red ocean strategy. So basically, like in simple terms, blue ocean is like there's no competitions there in the market, so you can play. But red ocean strategy, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of sharks that will eat you. Like, let's say if you open one coffee shop, there's multiple coffee shops there. So there's a high demand in that, in that business, but everybody will kill each other just to have that. That's red ocean strategy, which is very hard to make profit from. But the blue ocean strategy is that you recognize that there's some gap in the market. Nobody's fighting you because it's not needed. But if you can make that value higher than it is, you can make a business out of it. And that's where you should sometimes, I'm not saying to be spy, but you have to also learn how to sometimes be with one crowd and sometimes need to look at the others. You have to have the eagle eye, where basically you see things different. So you have to see things differently.
And that, my friends, is the podcast. Whatever it was for you, whether it was for the sports, whether it was for the growth, you've been an amazing guest today. And I am so privileged to have had you on the podcast, because you are something special. And I wish you every success for the future. And I can't wait to be invited to your wedding.
Inshallah.
Yeah, be a wedding. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been our podcast today. What a magnificent one. Thank you so much for listening again. See you next week. Thanks for now.